It's time to taste the mango habanero mead.
All right. There's like 5 ways to say the pepper that's in this. I'm just not going to say it anymore. It's named for Havana, Cuba, so it is a Spanish word. I was incorrectly led to believe that it was an American word. I don't know where that came from, but I did find a source that said that, and it's not. So I don't even know how to say it anymore. Okay, so I'm just not going to. So there. But
How does that break the Glencairns?
I slammed the base, not the side. So. All right, let me pour a little bit for Derica, even though it was the glass in front of me. This is for her. Hey, these are the things that people ding me on all the time. So, all right, I'm pouring us pretty good.
Why do be me? Why?
All right, so there's hers.
But we know what you want.
All right, so we have our respective pours here. As we said in the last video, this is not clear. It's cloudy.
But we've had cloudier beverages.
Oh, yeah.
And in my recollection, this is actually clearer than the traditional mead with yeast holes.
Yeah, it is actually.
So
This is one of those, though, that I could smell this all day.
yeah, its aroma is really nice.
I get a citrusy, chili note. Wow, a little bit of lemon and orange even. I'm attributing that to the mango. There's definitely some amount of a floral thing going on with the honey.
Yeah.
But it doesn't smell spicy so much as it has that aromatic thing going on.
It's got that juicy fruit
chili
thing going on too, where your mouth starts
Tropical.
salivating already because it's just like, oh, that's really yummy.
It's very tropical feeling.
With the addition of the fruity notes and the chilies and then the fruity notes and the mango, it just makes this really interesting combination. And a quick side on that, if you've ever made Cuban-styled food, they like to introduce fruit a lot into their main courses, and it's really wonderful. And if you've never done that, I highly encourage you doing that.
So would this be a Cuban mead?
If
they had such a thing, it might be. I don't believe there is a Cuban mead. Somebody's going to tell me there is, but I don't believe there actually is. Wasn't really a thing.
It's just really nice. Just on the aroma alone, I am 100% sold on this.
Now, we know this is only like 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
However, even if I didn't, this smells quite good. There's no hint of foot or youngness here at all.
No. There's no green notes. There's no bitter notes. There's no off-putting gases. There's nothing of that in this, and that is just
all the aromas blend together
really
so well.
nice.
The balance on the smell is really amazing. And I mean, we usually don't spend this much time sniffing them, but wow, this is amazing. By the way, to get a proper sniff, let me talk about that for a minute. I use the Glencairn glass because it has that tulip shape. So what happens is you do a little swirl like this. What that does is the vapors then form a little whirlwind and they go up and they're concentrated. And you put it to your nose. You can use one side or the other or both. And if you leave your mouth slightly open, like this,
I tend to push my tongue against my front teeth, and that helps me.
With whiskey, I find that I get different flavors if I move it from side to side sometimes.
And
with mead, not as much.
I do that just on that out of habit, but
And when you don't smell anything anymore, walk away. Just pull it back. Take a smell of your elbow. Believe it or not, or coffee grounds or something like that.
And the reason why Brian is smelling his elbow is because you are most familiar scientifically and historically with your own scent. So when you smell yourself, as weird as it seems,
your receptors kind of neutralize.
It's like, okay, we're resetting now.
Yeah, because you can overdo the smell receptors if you take too many sniffs. If you're not used to smelling alcohol, don't put your nose all the way in there because it might be a bit much, especially if it's whiskey. But I'm used to it, so it doesn't really
But
bother me
if
at all.
you make this, smell it. Enjoy
Oh, man,
the
the scent-
aroma.
the scent is
This
amazing.
is so wonderful. Okay, but we're gonna cut because
Yeah,
you're
let's-
tired of watching us smell things, right?
So short sip.
Short sip.
Short sip is when you just get it in the mouth, swallow, just get the impression of it, and it helps you acclimate to the beverage. Just like that. First impressions.
It's got so much going on. It is super
The
exciting.
heat is there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. However, it's not like a knock you on your butt heat. It's not at all. There's a spiciness to it. It's on the finish still. It's still going. There's still a little bit of heat there. But it's followed by that honey sweetness really quickly. And then there's a fruitiness, like all of the tropical fruits all coming through. Just the depth on this is really incredible. I can't believe we took this long to make it. It's because I had a problem with mango.
Brian is one of those people that he gets a concept in his head and it's just there. And there's nothing an outside force can do to change that concept.
Okay, explain to them why I don't like mango. Why I didn't like mango.
I perhaps OD'd him on mango.
We had a mango tree.
We had the perfect
Oh, it was
mango
beautiful.
tree.
I wish we still had it.
When we lived in Tampa. I mean, it was so perfect. Complete strangers would stop by our house and go,
And people would
"Oh
steal
my
them.
gosh, could we please have some of your mangoes?" And because Brian was like, "Yeah." And I have a
I'd never
love-hate relationship with mangoes because I grew up on an island and we had massive mango
I grew up up
trees,
north.
and
Mangoes weren't a thing.
I'm allergic to mango blossoms, and we ate a lot of mangoes, so I'm like, it's good, but perhaps I was a mango snob. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, in comes Derica into Brian's life. "Oh, you have a beautiful mango tree. Well, I'm going to make mango salsa. I'm going to make mango upside down cake. I'm going to make mango this, mango that, mango that."
What she actually did was take about 20 mangoes, cut them up, and put them in a bowl in the fridge. And every day for about 4 days, we ate mangoes. I don't recall anything else being made from them. That may have happened. I just do not remember it. Because all I remember is tons of sliced mango.
And this is an important lesson for those of you who have not learned this lesson in life, and that's perception is reality. Brian's perception is that I'm going to hurl that glass into the cosmos, shattering it to a billion pieces, and then manage with my bare feet to step on each and every of those pieces that's scattered across the kitchen. That's his perception.
Who breaks more glasses?
Whether it happens or not is immaterial. That's his perception. That's why he had to move the glass. My perception is, I know what I'm doing. I talk with my hands. You talk with your hands way more than I talk with my hands.
Yeah, not
What the
like
heck?
this, though.
But that's an illustration of perception is reality. It doesn't matter what reality is.
I just got overdone on
That's what your
mango, and I
perception
think
is.
by the time it was close to the end of them, maybe they weren't quite, like they were overripe. And it was just a bit much for me. And being that I wasn't really used to eating a lot of fruit at that time, not anymore, but at that time, it just kind of didn't sit right. And I couldn't even look at a mango after that.
So his perception was mango equals bad.
Yeah. And then we tried them recently, and I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome.
And then,
So
ta-da!
that's how this came about. Because somebody wanted it, so I said, all right, fine, I'll try mangoes again.
And if you're curious if that's how I tell stories, yes. All of my stories are long and convoluted and have a massive amount of
And
prehistory.
have 15 stories in the middle of each
Yeah.
one. And and
So-
she circles back around and starts a whole new story without telling anybody. And oh, yeah.
So Brian is a saint.
If you don't speak Derica, it's hard to follow. Anyway, long sip. This is when you put it in your mouth and you savor it. You actually get all the flavors and complexity from it. So here we go. All right, you go first. She didn't swallow yet.
This beverage is an ogre. For those of you who are not familiar with that statement, go
So
watch
am I,
Shrek.
apparently. Or an onion.
And what I mean by that is it has layers.
Yeah.
And starting off out of the gate, you get sweetness plus. It's not just sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just boring sweetness. It's not honey sweetness. It's not fruit sweetness. It's sweetness plus. And that means you're getting the sweetness from the honey and the fruit, but you're getting other notes right along with it, right up front, right out of the gate. And that is really cool. And then from that, you're going into, at least for me, into the pepper notes. the chili notes, but it's the fruity chili notes. So you're getting a little bit of that tingly spiciness that's combining in, because at the same time you're getting some of the alcohol tingly spiciness. And so it's like, oh, my tongue is excited now. It's doing some crazy things. Is that because of the chili? Is that because of the alcohol? Is it because of both? I think it's because of both. And then you're going back into more of the complexity of the different flavor notes. And so you're getting the mango, but you're also getting the dried mango that has that mango plus, the fruit plus. So it's like, it's kind of smoky, but not really. It's kind of salty, but not really. It's kind of like your brain is going,
salty. Yes.
I don't know what's going on. And then the very end, you're getting that extended capsaicin release along with that odd salt note. And I got that salt note from the short sip, the quick sip. And I thought, that's salt. Where am I getting salt from?
Yeah.
And Brian is agreeing with me, so it's there. And I think it's one of those cool things where your brain is like, I don't know what it is, but it needs a label, so salt.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to call it myself. And as soon as you said salty, I was like, that's it. Because you don't think of salt in a brew like this.
Yeah.
We didn't put any in there.
Yeah.
But I think it's the combination of the unique characteristics and flavor of a mango mixed with the unique characteristics and flavor of this specific type of chili. It's kind of awesome. I mean, I have to say, I went back for a large pour. You noticed this.
Now, off camera, we made an Habanero Capsicumel, and it didn't turn out that great. It was
We did habanero and two poblanos.
It was very vegetal. So
it was great for cooking.
It was great for cooking. We made a crap load of Viking chili with that, and it was awesome.
That was in the Viking chili video.
But drinking it was kind of like, whoa, this is just way too green. There's too much vegetal note in this to be a pleasant drinking. It was perfect for cooking, but it just wasn't good drinking. This, I'm not getting those vegetal notes.
No, it's not vegetal.
All.
It's not vegetal.
100% fruit chili notes.
On the entrance, I get a little bit of the heat, followed immediately by a honey sweetness. Okay, I do get the honey sweetness. Then like a floral note. Then that salty thing that she's talking about. Sometimes it's slightly unpleasant. Other times I don't mind it at all, and it actually adds to the experience. It does have a slight astringency that isn't working for me 100%. I'm not getting the odd bitterness on the back note that I normally get from mead, which I'm attributing to the strength of the capsaicin flavor and the alcohol, probably overtaking that. This, as she said, this thing's got layers. I mean, there's so much going on here. It's really amazing. The floral note is really interesting to me. The citrusy notes are interesting because mango isn't citrus, but it's not citrus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has kind of some of those citrusy notes.
Its own thing.
This is just really, really interesting.
Along with that, normally I tend to split my categories where it's an experience beverage, or it's a Derica wheelhouse, or it's a Brian wheelhouse, or whatever.
This can be both.
This is all of the above.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting for me because I'm enjoying the experience of it. I'm enjoying the aroma tons. I'm enjoying the flavor nearly as much. And so are you ready to move forward towards pairings and
Well, let's talk about like cooking with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I could cook with this. Yeah. This could go into any number of things. Chili, this would be amazing in chili. Even though it's mango, the fruit forwardness isn't really that. It's not that fruit forward. I probably could have put more dried mango in this and it would have been a little more fruity, but I think it would have added even more sweetness, which I don't think it needs. So that's a balancing act there.
I think it would be really yummy in like a beans and rice dish.
Yes.
With lots of like bell pepper and onion and carrot in there.
I agree.
Even olives to go with that salty note.
Basically, most Mexican food, you could cook this into it, and I think it would enhance it.
Mexican,
She
Spanish,
said the Cuban thing.
Cuban,
and that really made me think,
Jamaican,
yes, all those
Haitian,
things, it would be great.
All of them.
Eating with food, all of the above.
Yeah.
All the same stuff.
Tacos.
Yeah, this would be great with tacos. This would be great with chili. This would be great with Mexican food. This would be great with Cuban food, Jamaican food. This would be great with barbecue. Just plain old American barbecue.
Yep.
And if you used a vinegar barbecue, I think it would be very good as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of the vinegar barbecue, but Don't hate me for that. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I like the sweeter barbecue. That's what I grew up on.
Even if you like meats and you use meats paired with fruit,
You could marinate with this.
chicken or pork, I think this would be really great paired with that as well.
It's got, okay, spiciness level. Let me just say, I can eat really spicy food, okay, and it doesn't kill me. I don't enjoy super spicy food as much, but I can do it. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being intolerable, just couldn't be able to finish it, 1 being undetectable heat, this is like a 3, maybe a 4. It's not that high.
Yeah.
But there is heat there. You know it's there, but it also passes relatively quickly. It stays around maybe 20, 30 seconds after you sit.
And I think part of that is because we do have some residual sweetness in this. And
I'm very glad that happened.
the sweetness helps your system counter the effects of capsaicin.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you're this isn't a painful heat. This is a
No.
refreshing palate opening heat.
Some people will want to put more chilies in there.
Sure.
And more power to you.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with somebody that wants to do that. Just remember that it does multiply quickly. Like they add up. You know, you put in 3 or 4 of those chilies, you're going to know it's heat. And you may lose out on some of the flavor
Yeah.
for the sake of the heat.
I think if you bump up the heat level, then you might want to bump up the mango additions.
Yeah, and the sweetness too.
Because I think the heat may affect your ability to
You're not going to taste anything else.
sense the mango.
Yeah.
And that's the whole purpose of this, is to have that nice balance where you're getting the fruitiness and you're getting the heat and you're getting the sweetness, and it's all coming together, and it did that.
I'm actually surprised one tiny chili did this much heat, though.
The only critique I have for this, really...
Save it for the score.
Okay.
But yeah, I would eat this with so many different kinds of
So
food.
we'd cook with it, we would pair it with food, and would we drink it alone?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
This is just good. I can only imagine this getting better in time. Mellowing more, this is going to be incredible in a year. And the oaked one, the wood-aged one, oh, that's going to be so awesome. I bet you the wood-aged one at 2 months is better than the 1 year. But we will never actually know because they're not going to get drank together.
Unless we get a TARDIS by then.
Yeah. Bearded said he has a teleporter. It's not quite the same. They don't go in time.
Yeah.
He's working on it.
We need a TARDIS.
Yeah, we do. So if anybody has a TARDIS and they want to let us borrow it,
Yes.
let us know.
Even if it's broken.
Yeah,
We're cool with that.
Yeah, we'll try to fix it.
Just
We have Terry.
give us the electronic screwdriver and we're good to go. All right.
Before we score, I need some more.
You need some more
Would
for
you
science.
You need some more too.
Thank you.
For anyone who's concerned that we're getting drunk or things like that, this is like less than 5 ounces. Okay, we haven't had that much.
And we did consume
Yes,
mass
we
quantities
had food just
prior
before
to
this.
this.
I wish it was
can't
clearer.
help myself but smell it.
The
more.
smells, man.
Just-
I do wish it was clearer. I definitely get. See, I just got the tiniest hint of a grapefruit smell.
No!
It wasn't unpleasant.
No!
It wasn't truly unpleasant, but I did get it. But I'm digging now. That's the thing. I'm really digging.
Yeah.
And that's what you do in a tasting. But I'm really digging to see any flaws, any faults.
You made me hold my fault.
Well, you said what you would do to improve it. That's a scoring thing. Anyway, I think I have a number.
I have to physically change gears. Now, if you saw when he said that and I glanced up at the camera, you probably saw the shock, the pain, the horror briefly, oh so briefly,
'Cause now
in
she
my
smells it too.
eyes. Because no, I don't smell that. No, it's because I have to come up with a number.
Oh.
And I wasn't set for that. I wasn't in that lane of mindset. Now I gotta
Put the blinker on and change lanes, because that's what we're doing.
honk the horn, get over there. Just mush
Don't
it
honk
on.
the horn, just go. I'm a New
Just
Yorker.
Oh, see, this is very difficult for me. It seems just random and arbitrary, which, yes, it is just random and arbitrary.
Maybe we need to
But-
set specific parameters for each number.
But that doesn't work.
No,
that doesn't work.
they're all different.
Because
Every brew is just a little different.
It's perception, and it's...
By the way, for those curious, this ended at 1.014. Okay. Not because it stopped fermenting, but because it essentially got back sweetened by the mango.
By the dried mango, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
8.
8.5. I was debating between 8 and 8.5.
I was literally all over the place, and I don't really know why, because my critique is actually very subtle as far as Derricker critiques go. And what I feel is not working for me is, shockingly enough, the mouthfeel. But I don't have a clear answer of how to fix that, because I think part of the reason why I'm getting a different mouthfeel than what I probably should be getting is because of the flavor profile of the beverage itself. It's not that it's not a pleasant mouthfeel, because I think it is. I just think because the combination of the heat of the chili and the slightly acidic citrus notes that Brian was talking about of the mango makes it clean out rather quickly, or at least it makes it feel like it's cleaning out. So I want it to be slightly more viscous and coating.
Okay.
But it might already be there, and it's just falsely being read
it's covered up
because of those cleaning notes of the spice and the citrus. So that's why I gave it 8. I really don't have anything else to complain about. I think the sweetness level was spot on. I think the heat level is spot on. I think the fruit notes are spot on. I love how the fruitiness of the chili and the fruitiness of the mango are just blending and working together. They're like best buds in this beverage, and I wasn't anticipating that, so I'm pleasantly surprised.
I went a little bit higher than she did, but that's not a surprise. I almost always do. For similar reasons, though, actually. I tasted the acidity of it, and I think that's a little high. It's slightly off balance that way. The smell is balanced, but the taste is slightly out of balance. There's a little bit more acidity than there should be. I'd like more mango. We need more cowbell, okay? Just needs more cowbell. More mango would have done it. Let me just check something real quick.
The mango is not exploring the space.
Okay, I used a ½ pound of dried mango when we made this. I think 3/4 of a pound probably would have done it.
Yeah.
Maybe even a full pound would have done it. Sure, it would have used up more space, but it would have added that little extra because this is a little bit more acidic and pungent that way than I really wanted. The extra mango would have upped the fruitiness level to the acidity level a little bit more. It would have also given a touch more sweetness. Yeah, one of the cats is here.
Tigger, she woke up from her nap. She met her daddy.
Oh, Tiggs, get up here. It's a tasting. They're allowed. Come up here. Get up here. Come on. All right, here's Tigger. She's here. Somebody said they don't believe that we have 7 cats. They think we only have 1 because Tigger's the only one that ever shows up on camera. So I think that a little bit of extra sweetness and fruitiness from more mango would have offset that a little bit. She said she wasn't thrilled with the mouthfeel, and I think that little bit of extra sweetness might have helped with that as well. Yeah. Too much acidity will tend to make it taste kind of watery and quick on the finish. It's close, though.
The surprise note that we both got from this that I am equally surprised not only by getting it as that I actually enjoy it is the saltiness, because I'm not a huge fan of salt. We try to keep our sodium levels to a bare minimum if that's possible, but because the saltiness is in there, it's making me remember fruity cocktail drinks, and they like to salt the rim, like margaritas, and that just seems to work really well with this. And if we ever do the pineapple capsicumel, I'm really hoping that gets that salty note as well, because I think it's really working with this flavor combination.
Yes. And it might. I think, well, I have ideas for the pineapple one. I'm not going to disclose in this video because it's a different video. But overall, this is a very successful brew. It's a very simple brew. This is something that, See, even Tigger thinks so. This is something even a first-time brewer could probably do really easily. There's just not a lot of things to, no hoops to jump through, really. Capsaicin is a fermentation's friend. For some reason, it really jumpstarts fermentations really easily. It just worked. Everything about this was super simple, super easy, and it just really worked.
Yeast must be DNA related to chickens. I don't know.
It's possible.
That's not going to work for most people.
I don't think so. But yeah, sure.
Birds are not affected by
Capsaicin.
the spiciness of that.
Yeah.
Cats are though.
Yeah. What are you doing on the table?
Cats are. Feet down. Yeah, feet down.
Yeah, they're not allowed on the table, and they know it. But she's trying to get away with it because she knows we're working, and she knows that she gets away with a little bit more when we're on camera. Anyway, this turned out wonderful. Okay, if you're looking for something a little different, maybe a little risky, some people seem to think this is a very risky thing. I don't think so at all. This is actually a pretty traditional Capsicumel Mead. But give this a try. You might actually be really surprised. And as always, guys, we appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. And if you like this video, look up. There's another video up there. You might like that one too.